Hi folks, just a quick little video today. There was Paddy's open tag earlier in the week, and I said I would do a little response to it about what's your everyday carry, what's in your pockets. So I thought I'd just do a quick one. Now, there's some sort of layers to this. There's what I always have in my pockets, and then what I sometimes have in my pockets, and then I have a little man bag, because I'm a big girl, that I keep things in. The reason for this is that I've only got one hand that really works, and it doesn't work that well. And I spend a lot of time sitting on a wheelchair, so you don't really want to sit on your phone or your wallet or whatever, because you end up with sores and things, which isn't good. So as I can't put my hand into my right hand pocket, I've really only got one pocket, which is the left hand pocket of my trousers. And so I keep in that really two things. One, always there, is my torch. Translate for non-English speakers, flashlight, but for those of us who speak the Queen's, it's called a torch. This one is an Olight S2R baton in copper, which I got just before Christmas. It's taken on a really nice patina already. There's nice colours in it. It did look a bit rose gold. My son said to me, "What do you want with a rose gold torch?" Now I have this. I do have a smaller one, the S1. The problem I find with this one is because the clip comes so near to the bottom, I find it quite difficult because I don't have much feel to catch that on the edge of my trousers when I'm trying to put it in my pocket. So I originally went for this one, which is considerably lighter, but I just like the copper. It's great. It's got a magnetic base. You've got what I call Chilean mine mode, so you can put it on to this sort of really it's like half a lumen or something, but it'll go for about 2 months or something like that, which, it's a useful thing to have, but it also means that at night, if I wake up in the night and I just have to get up and go to the loo, I'm a man of a certain age, then I can put that on. It's not so bright that it wakes my wife up, but then you can turn it up, and I think it does, if you put it onto double click mode, which I find really quite difficult to, it does over 1,000 lumens, so it's really bright. But anyway, I always have that. I have these little tags on things because, again, I find I'm not very good at grabbing hold of round edges. When I'm trying to pull that out of my pocket, it's easy for me to drop, whereas I can grab that. It's just a little leather lanyard knot with a little titanium bead. I can pull that out of my pocket nice and easily with that. I do something similar. I've always got a pocket knife. The one I actually have in my pocket right now is my little Zonzo. Now I like this one much better than the Heine Haynes UK legal one, but it is illegal, so I can use this one because I'm in the house today. If I was going out, I wouldn't be able to carry it. So while I was out yesterday, I had this in my pocket, a little leather slip, and inside this, I pretend not to wear it now with a clip when I'm out, because the UK, they do have a problem with it, and I don't really want to get into trouble, particularly where I was going yesterday. So I have a little knife and a little slip. This one happens to be my Svelling J.A. Henkel's Copperhead, which I'm just carrying at the moment. It's just one of those really, it's a good looking knife. It's got a nice blade on it. It's plenty sharp. It's a traditional, so it's a thin, good slicer, as well as the clip point blade. There's also a little drop point, which again is nice and sharp. It's hollow ground, really nice slicer. Now, I particularly like this knife though because it's got this beautiful gunstock walnut scales on it. It's a lovely knife. I suspect it's actually made by Boca because it's very similar to the Boca copperhead knives, and there is a sort of rumour that Svelling, when they stopped making their knives in house, it was Boca that they contracted to, and it would sort of make sense. And they're another old company. Boca's not as old as Svelling. Svelling's been around since 1732, but it's these are all numbered as well. Number 0233. Now I don't know if that's numbered for the pattern or numbered for the knives produced by Svelling. It's hard to know. Now, these are things I've always got in my pockets. I've always got a knife and I've always got a torch. But I also, when I go out, I carry a wallet, and I have, this is a little Verso wallet. It was actually one I saw on Paddy's potato peelers. So I've got in here a credit card, and then in the back part there, they're not so easy to get out, but there's my driving license, a membership card, a couple of things like that. And then the easy bit to get out is, I say easy, you pull that little tab on the back, and my two main bank cards come out of there. And then on the back is a little pocket in which you can keep a little bit of cash. I don't tend to carry cash because when your hands are as bad as mine, cash is just a nightmare. But the other thing that I then carry is my keychain, and in some ways this is my everyday carry. I got this big brass hook off Drop. Yeah, Drop. And I can't remember who it's made by, but I find it really good because you can put this through a trouser loop and it's pretty secure. It's not going to just fall off, but it's easy to get on and off. There's no fancy clips or anything. Now, if I just lay these out reasonably straight, what do I have on here? I have this little cord because it's bright coloured. It's not as bright as it once was, but it's handy to see, and it's easy for me to grab them by when they're in my bag, which we will come to. I've got a little Higa no Kami that my wife bought me in a little pouch here. That's not been on there for long. I've only had that on the last week or so, but I like that little knife, and I wanted to make some small use of it. There's the key to my car. This is I think it's a true utility, but it's a pen, and you just pull that out of there, and you have full length, if not full width, pen, but it telescopes. Get this in here, back in there. Yeah, just true utility. It says it on the side. Oh, if only I thought about these things before I did them. I've got a little capsule here. Now, my stepfather once said to me, you shouldn't go out without a piece of string, a box of matches, a penknife, and a last-ditch fiver. Now, a fiver in this day and age is... £5 note isn't really going to get you very far in an emergency. So in this little true utility thing, I have a £50 note wrapped up. A £50 note is a great thing to have because they're not actually that easy to spend. People don't like £50 notes. They've got to give you change for them and so forth. But that means it's not something you just sort of dive into. I used to find if it was a £5 note, you just spend it. But because it's a £50 note, you really don't spend it unless you really have to. It's just not something you want to do. Then in here I have my jet setter. The jet setter looks like the SD Classic from Victorinox, but it isn't, because you have slightly different blade setup. So you have on the one side, you've got the little scissors, same as the Classic, Then you've got your tweezers, same as a classic. Then you've got your toothpick, same as a classic. But on the other side, instead of the blade and the nail file, you have a multi-tool. Now the multi-tool is bottle opener, wire stripper, though why on earth you'd need a wire stripper, and a little Phillips screwdriver. The purpose of me carrying this is that I've got the scissors. Now the reason I do this is because there are certain buildings that I go in, for example schools. I go to schools quite frequently where knives are just not allowed. So I like to have this because it means I've still got some sort of cutting tool, and I've got my little bottle opener thing. So anyway, that's on my key ring. Next along I have my one and only key, or there's a little key for my electric scooter, spare key for my electric scooter, and then I've got my cards for the Co-op and for Tesco's for my collecting my points, and so they can collect all my data and sell me things. I've got a Kaiser titanium whistle for attracting attention, and finally I've got a Mech Army, again in copper, although this is over a year old. Oddly, the Mech Army copper flashlight comes coated in some sort of varnish or whatever, so it doesn't take on a patina for a long time. So I spent a lot of time sort of rubbing it, but basically it has I think it's something like a 25 lumens and 130 lumen output, so it's really quite a powerful little torch. Obviously the runtime is nowhere near the Olight, but it actually works really quite well. And also you can charge it with USB, and it doesn't come apart. Well, you can take it apart, but you just loosen the top, and then you can see the plug on the side. You see the plug on the side there. You just plug the USB into it, so that there's no parts to lose. Which is particularly useful for me. So that's my kind of keychain. Now the only other thing is I also carry, when I'm out and about, I tend to carry a bag, because I've also, in addition to that stuff, I've also got my phone to carry, and there's a couple of other little bits and pieces which are important to me that perhaps wouldn't worry to others. So I use this Maxpedition bag. In the back here I've got another Apple iPhone. I've got two iPhones, the other one's filming this, that one goes in there. Then in the front here I put my wallet, and also a couple of other things. Got my Boca Subcom friction folder, which you can use as a money clip, which I do use as a money clip. I haven't got any money in it at the moment, but it's quite a nice little, it's 1-inch blade, doesn't offend anybody. It's a friction folder. And I've also got my little change purse, because I'm not good. And also in terms of, I also keep in here, in terms of other, as well as just loose coins. In the front of here I have two £5 coins. Oh, if I can get them out. Two £5 coins. Now the beauty of a £5 coin again is they're really quite difficult to spend, but I do have an emergency £10 if I'm stuck. People don't like to take them, and they're actually worth more than £5 as collector's pieces. So there's a strong incentive not to use them, but it's good to have it. Then I've got a little business card case as well. So the only other things I keep in my little bag are in the front here. I have what's called a radar key, which is useful for use it for disabled toilets, and there's another key for my scooter. I have been known to lose the key for my scooter from time to time. There's a little pointer for using on phones and iPads and stuff, and then there's my Fura Gear tactical pen that I got from AliExpress. I've got, was it Gear Best? It's one or the other. I've got a little chapstick. I've got some various drugs that I take, Elastoplast, and the only other thing that will be of interest to all of you out there is that I also carry Victorinox Pioneer X. So that's the basic Alox Pioneer, plus it has a pair of scissors on it. So that's my lot. That's probably enough, isn't it? Probably enough for most people. Too much for some people. Anyway, there's my pile. Thank you very much. Bye. Oh, and I should have said before I go, if you like any of this stuff, please feel free to tick the thumbs up box and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you very much. Bye.